If your speech feels rushed, slurred, or hard to understand, slowing down on purpose can help speech clarity. I'm Cassandra, I'm a speech therapist, and today I'm going to show you 3 simple pacing strategies speech therapists use to improve speech clarity. Let's get started.
Speech secrets.
Pacing or rate modification means controlling how fast you talk. Slowing your speech down allows your lips and tongue adequate time to make precise, coordinated, and consistent sounds. If your speech is significantly slurred, then it also gives the listener a little extra time to process what you've said. The first 2 strategies in this video are helpful if your speech is very slurred or hard to understand. If you've had a stroke or brain injury and have dysarthria, this is a good place to start. If your speech is more mildly slurred, feel free to skip to the 3rd tip. The first strategy is finger tapping. You tap your finger against your leg or the table for every word or syllable that you say. Let me show you how to do it using the alphabet. Put your hand on your leg or on the table. Say the alphabet and tap each finger with each letter you say. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. You try it. Now try it with a sentence. I like speech secrets. Your turn. Try this sentence now that's a little bit longer and tap along. When I go to the store, I buy milk, eggs, and bread. Your turn. What I like about this strategy is it's subtle. You can tap along your leg and nobody can even tell. It doesn't require any gadget, just your hand. People with Parkinson's might struggle with this strategy, tapping their hand a bit quickly, or people with ataxia may have difficulty coordinating the tapping movement. That brings us to strategy number 2, using a metronome. Before we jump in, take a moment and hit the subscribe button so that I can keep making free speech therapy resources. Now with finger tapping, you are setting your own rate. But with a metronome, there's an external aid setting the rate for you. There's a lot of free metronome apps or websites that you can use. Here's one that I use. 60 to 80 beats per minute will provide heavy support, but the best pace to start out is different for everybody. This beat goes slower than typical speech, and that's intentional. Each beat equals roughly 1 syllable. We'll use the same practice pattern here. Start with the alphabet. Hear the beat. Now say the alphabet with the beat. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. You try it. Now try it with a sentence. I like speech secrets. Your turn. Try it with the next sentence. A little longer now. When I A great way to practice both the finger tapping and the metronome app is by reading. Start with simple texts like a children's book, and then progress to more difficult texts such as a newspaper article. The early goal is to use this for solo practice for accuracy and coordination. Because I know what you're thinking. Cassandra, I'm not going to walk around with a metronome playing every time I talk. Don't want to sound like a robot. I don't think I quite have that dance move down. Stress and intonation of speech is really important to be understood. Ideally, the beats per minute can gradually increase and fade out so that your speech sounds more natural. Here's something to understand about speech rate. Slowing our speech does not mean speaking in slow motion. It means using pause time better to help our speech be understood. Pauses take up 30 to 50% of the time when we're speaking or reading out loud. Pauses carry meaning. They mark units of information and phrase boundaries and help listeners to follow along. And for people with dysarthria, pauses are especially important because they're easier to change than the speed and precision of the speech sounds. Now this brings us to strategy number 3, which is phrase chunking. When we breathe, we don't breathe randomly. Most people naturally take breaths at sentences and phrase boundaries, basically where it makes sense. The stretch of speech you say in one breath is called a breath group. They can be short or long, and they help create the naturalness of speech. Let me show you what I mean. Here's a sentence with natural phrasing. When I wake up, I make coffee and check my phone. Here's that same sentence using unnatural phrasing. When I wake up, I make coffee and check my phone. Even though the words are the same, the second sentence is harder to understand because the pauses are in the wrong places. Learning to chunk speech into natural phrases helps speech sound clearer and less confusing to listeners. You can practice this strategy with reading too. It's easier to control. You can even mark where you pause with slashes or periods before you start reading. You try it now using natural phrasing. Start with simple sentences. Here's an example. I practice talking like a pro.
Your turn. Read the sentence on the screen, but pause or inhale where you see the slash.
Then move on to longer sentences. After dinner, we went for a walk around the neighborhood.
Your turn.
After you try this with reading, apply it to your functional speech, like when you make a phone call or order at a restaurant. Clear speech comes from where you pause, not pushing more words into one breath. Now here's an important part. If you're thinking, well, this helps, but I still run out of breath when speaking, you're not wrong. Phrase chunking helps you work with the breath you have now. You have to find a pause before you run out of air completely. But it doesn't increase your breath capacity. Increasing your breath support helps for speech to feel less effortful and more efficient. That's what I'll cover in this video, how to strengthen your breath support for better speech. Thanks for watching, and be kind to yourself.